Hello, my name is Laura, and what we're going to be doing today is to be making a simple grade calculator in Visual Basic. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a new project, and what we're going to have to do is make sure you've got Visual Basic clicked here and make sure we have the Windows Form application selected. So we can go ahead and rename it here, Grade Calc. Okay, so if you just click OK, and it'll create the project for you. Okay, so this is the form of your grade calc. So this is where all your user interface goes, which will be quite nice. So if we start from the very beginning, we're going to just create the user interface by clicking here on Toolbox and then coming down to Button. If you click and drag it onto your form, you'll see you've got a button there. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to rename this button. We're going to change the name of what it says in there to Exit and press Enter to confirm, and then we're going to go down here and find the name button. Now most buttons have a certain name that they go by, so you think it would be called Exit, but in fact for a button you go BTN Exit to let you know when you're coding that it is in fact a button with the BTN as the prefix. So that's all done. Now what we need to do is go back into the toolbox, and what you can do if you want the toolbox to stay there is press this button here, which will pin it to the side of the screen. So if we go and find the button again, click and drag and make it roughly level with the Exit button. Then we'll go into here and change the name of this one to BTN Find Grade and press Enter again. So what we want this text box, this button even, to display is Find Grade. And we need a space in there and Enter. Excellent. So now we're going to have to put in some labels and some text boxes to help us visualize the final grade, and somewhere to obviously type it in the mark you have received. So we'll look for a text box. Here it is, click and drag. And we want this one to be a little bit smaller there, so about there. Perfect. And we're just going to call this one TXT, so like BTN for the button, except for a text box it's TXT. And we're going to call it TXT mark. So this is where you're going to type in the mark that you have received out of 100. And then we need 3 labels, so we'll just search for labels back in the toolbar. Click and drag to above the text box, and the name of this one, so it'll be LBL for label and mark header. Now this actually needs some text in it, so we're going to find label 1 like it says up here and change it so the text reads mark out of 100 and Enter. Just move this slightly further down. Now what we can do here is just Control C and Control V to get another label the same size, and Control V again and put this label here. So now obviously they've got the same name and text as the other label, so we'll have to change that. This one will, the text within it will be changed to grade, and the name of the label is going to be changed to LBL grade header. Perfect. So Okay, so the last label we have to do now is this one here. So if we go across and change the text of this one, now this is where the final letter grade is going to go, so we don't really want anything in the text box, the label even. So instead of being invisible, what we are going to do is just put 3 dots in there and press enter. So as you can see, that means we can still see the box and keep track of it. Now to change the name of the label, it's going to be LBL, and then we're going to call it LBL grade, and enter. So the UI is all finished, the user interface. What we can do now is move on to the code. So if you double click on the find grade button, this window will appear. So it's form1.vv instead of the design tab. What we have to do before we start coding the actual button is create a variable, and how you do that in Visual Basic is dim grade, and grade is the name of the variable, as decimal, because we're going to be typing some numbers in there. Okay. Now in here, btn find grade, that is the button. What we're going to type in here is get the variable and make that equal to the value of txt mark, and then to make sure it comes through as text, we're going to do dot text. Excellent. Now what we're going to do is some if statements. So if the variable grade, which don't forget is what you put in the text box mark, if the grade is more than or equal to 90, then the label named grade is going to be text as well, so we have to do dot text equals to A. So A will appear in this label right here. Okay. So we're going to do that a few more times, so to save your time and mine, I'm just going to copy and paste this line. So in all future if statements, it's going to be less than or equal to, and this one is going to be 89. So if the grade is less than or equal to 89, the label LBL grade is going to display B. Okay, and then do that again. So if it's less than or equal to 79, it will display a C. If it's less than or equal to 69, then it will display a D. And then the final one, if the grade is less than or equal to 59, you'll get an F. So even if you put letters into this program, F is still going to display because you're not using the program correctly, and that's what we have trained it to do. Okay, so now what we need to do is go back to the design tab and double click on the exit button. So btn exit.click, that's where we need to be. So all we have to do here to exit the program is type in end. Okay, so now what we're going to do is check that works. So if we just get our grades up here so we can see them. If I type in 100 into here and click find grade, A appears as the grade. If, say, what was 59 for F, so if you put in 59, F appears, that's perfect. So yeah, type in whatever you like, so hello, try and type that in, F will appear, as I said before, so you're not using the program correctly, and if we press exit, the program stops. So I hope this was interesting and informative for you all. You can change this to be an age calculator, or maybe put in your age to see if you are able to see a particularly certificate film. Yeah, just play around with it, see where you You could always modify this program, so if you put in your age, it will tell you if you can see a particular certificate film. So yeah, just play around with it, have a bit of fun, see how you can upgrade this. It's a good basis for anyone, this program, and I'll make another video again for you soon. Bye!